your own interactive media sessions. Am I live now? Or did I start too early, Arome? Okay, perfect. So these two sessions. So first introduction about the metaverse, and then I'll continue with Fectar Studio and show you how easy it is to create something for the metaverse. So first of all, yeah, like I said, the metaverse. There are three problems with the metaverse, and we are going to address these three problems today. First of all, the access of the metaverse. Who is able to access the metaverse? The creation of the metaverse. Who's able to create something for the metaverse? And then, of course, is metaverse VR or AR? Is it single channel? How to perceive or how to continue in that problem? Let me start with a short introduction movie of Fectar. I don't know if there's sound on your end, but bear with me. Otherwise, I'll just talk you through it.
Fectar is about democratizing the metaverse, and that's what we've been working on for these past 2.5 years, and it's been quite a journey.
We launched Fectar in the beginning of 2020, and then it took off. Our users love our immersive and interactive spaces. So much that we grew to 5 million downloads worldwide.
Nothing to prove. I'm doing my thing. Yeah, you can do it too. Just make the change. I like that.
With Fectar Studio, now everyone is able to create their own metaverse experiences. Really easy. There's no coding, and there are all types of interaction that you can add to your own 3D spaces. Try it. This is about democratizing the metaverse.
Do what you do it for you. Do it for you. Don't gotta try. It's what you made for. Yeah, it's your life. So make it all yours. I like that.
We created special tools to analyze all the activity and engagement in augmented reality and virtual reality. In heat maps, really easy and everyone can understand it. And not just this, we already have 4.9 million user sessions tracked in our database. And it enables you to benchmark your creation to other spaces in the same category where you are at with your spaces. That is leveraging the metaverse.
Do what you do it for you. Do it for you.
And this is how we grow at Fectar. We are always looking at the number of licenses, the content, and the users. But in the center of it all, there's data. And let's have a look at some of the data of Fectar. These are big numbers. Actually, these are really big numbers. So when we started about 18 months ago, we already have 5 million downloads worldwide. And these downloads, they added up to 65 million in-app engagements. And it resulted into more than 5 million photos and more than 2 million videos that were taken with the app. Half a year ago, we started with authenticated accounts. And we already now have more than 200,000 of these accounts. And we see a high interest in fashion, in lifestyle, and of course, in shopping. And what's more, already 11,000 spaces have been created with Fectar Studio. And these 11,000 spaces added up to more than 16 million views for AR and VR content. This is democratizing the metaverse.
Well, thank you. This is a short introduction of Fectar. This movie is already a couple of months old. We are now at more than 6 million downloads worldwide, and we're growing really fast. And today I'm also introducing one of our new features on our platform, but I'll get to that later on. It's very exclusive. We only launched this a couple of days ago, So you'll be one of the first in the world to get to use this new feature of Fectar. First of all, short, our journey, like I said, 6 million. And we created a platform that supports both AR and VR. And if you want to try the samples, download the Fectar app. And in the Fectar app, you'll see like thousands of different samples, all with created with Fectar Studio, the center of our platform. And it works really easy. Download the Fectar app. You can scan one of these QR codes and then you get started. I'll share this presentation afterwards and you'll be able to see all of these samples and try them out yourself. And if you like, you can also build these samples yourself because there are many templates available that you can create things like this. I'll show that in a few minutes. They can be like training, it can be like for education, but we also see a very strong potential growth in the retail. There are also samples there for the new way of shopping. You can set up a metaverse store and you can place it in your own living room. You can walk around and see everything. You can tap on everything. There's multimedia content. It's really a great experience. Try them out. Like I said, afterwards, this will be all shared with you. Let's talk metaverse. The reason that I start here is because then I can also show you the added value of the Fectar platform. And I'll show you the Fectar Studio in a couple of minutes. But first of all, let's talk metaverse. The metaverse, there are three major problems. It's about access, it's about creation, it's the fact that it's a single channel. That's what we see at the moment with the metaverse. A lot of suppliers at the moment that are offering a solution for the metaverse, they only have limited access, it's hard to create, and it's only a single channel and with a single device. Let's see if we can offer the solution. We all know about the metaverse. It started last year. For us, the metaverse, there are a lot of definitions coming your way, and probably today you heard a lot of them. But for me, a few facts are really important. It's about immersive, it has to be interactive, it has to be connected. It's both AR and VR because it's a new 3D world we're entering at the moment. It's a new era. And what's really important, it has to be collaborative. The purpose of everything that we are creating in the metaverse is about working together. It's about sharing knowledge. It's about educating others, meeting others. So this is, for me, are the essential parts of the metaverse. It's not a definition, but these are for us here at Fectar, the crucial parts of the metaverse. And it's hot. If you just Google metaverse, in one day, you see so many articles by so many different, so the Wall Street Journal, Forbes, everyone is writing about the metaverse. So it has a lot of traction at the moment, and we need this traction to continue this path of the metaverse. And if you look at the numbers, you see those really big numbers here, $5 trillion in just 7 years' time from today. And then we see how fast this market is going to grow. And when I read this McKinsey report, for me, there was only one comment that really made sense for me. Because all the other data, it's like, you know, we're not a philosopher, we can't see the future, or we're no magicians. So these numbers, I don't really know about it. But there was this comment about the Chipotle Chief Marketing Officer, Chris Brandt. He said the potential benefits of exploring the metaverse outweigh the risks. And that's a very powerful comment because it says start today. Create the metaverse today, because what's coming our way, these benefits are going to be so big, even if it's a percentage of this 5 trillion, it's going to be a huge potential. So start today. First problem that we have with the metaverse, not everyone can access the metaverse because you need a VR headset. The way that Mark Zuckerberg is now showing the metaverse, it's in VR. You need to pay $300 to get a VR headset, and you can't use it everywhere. Where you're at a train station, for instance, you just, that's not a place to put up a VR headset and start doing it together. The first solution that we have with Fectar is the Real World Metaverse. Use your smartphone to enter the metaverse. That's what we created with Fectar. Everyone is now able to access the metaverse without these expensive devices. because the way that we created Fectar, our reference devices are the iPhone 6s and the Samsung S7. Again, like I mentioned at the introduction, we have more than 6 million downloads worldwide. 6 million. We have a larger community than all the other metaverse creators in the VR realm. This traction is going much faster than this entire VR metaverse. Be aware of this. So everything that we create at Fectar has to run on the iPhone 6s or on a Samsung S7. And this way, 2.4 billion people worldwide can access the metaverse. That is democratizing the metaverse. You don't need a VR headset. Everyone can access it. And if you see from the launching date till today, we have like millions of interactions going on in our Fectar app. It's just amazing to see what people create and what they do with our content. These numbers are already old, but I'm showing here on this slide. We added user stories to the Fectar app, and just in a couple of months' time, 45,000 users were created, stories were created. But these stories, they were shared more than 300,000 times, and the stories were viewed more than 10 million times. Those kind of numbers, that's what you see with the real world metaverse. It's really now is the time to get started with this part of the metaverse. Problem number 2. I'm going to show this to you later on in a few minutes. Then I'm going to add Fectar Studio, enter Fectar Studio, and show you how easy it is to solve this problem. Not everyone is able to create a metaverse experience. You need to be a developer. It's single channel. It's one SDK at a time. It's a single device you're working on. And you have to choose, am I going to do VR or AR? This way, creating something for the metaverse is difficult, time-consuming, and expensive. That's really a problem for the metaverse. But of course, we have the solution. Solution number 2, everyone is now able to create their own interactive experience with Fectar Studio. You don't need to be a developer. It's a no-code solution. You can get started with templates, samples. We have an academy with all sorts of tutorials. You can start immediately. We use standard formats for 3D, for audio and more. Just 50 minutes and you're off. And we have a worldwide community. We are now Fectar is being used in more than 223 countries around the world, everywhere. So get started. We created Fectar Studio. So like I mentioned, we have the app, the Fectar app, that you can use on a smartphone. The Fectar app is also available on the Meta Quest 1 and 2. The Fectar app is also available on the HoloLens, the Microsoft HoloLens. The Fectar app is also available on the Pico Neo VR headset. So that means multiple devices, you can publish your content. Here you see the screenshots of Fectar Studio. I'll just show it later on the desktop version, but you can also use Fectar Studio. It's mobile friendly. We have, I think, in a few months' time, we have more than 1 million users in India, for instance. There are a lot of creators also there. And they are, that's a mobile-only market. And a lot of people, they use Fectar Studio on their smartphone. That's how they get started. And that's how they create their first metaverse experience just on a smartphone screen. Everyone is able to create something for the metaverse. It starts with teachers, students, or in personal use, but it can go all up the way, someone with a Unity experience for more than 5 years. But the entry level, for the real world or for the metaverse creation, the entry level can be teachers, students, and personal. And once you create something, here you can see in this short movie how easy it is to add your content. To edit your content, excuse me. So here you see a metaverse space created. Consistent, you see this lighthouse, there's a button, there's a small airplane. You can tap on the airplane, you can turn it around, you can pick it up and just place it somewhere else. You can resize it, replace it. Then you pick up the button, you select the button, you can turn it around and you can drag it to another place. You can move it. And that's how easy it is to create something. There's zero coding going on here. It's just picking up objects, placing them somewhere else, And when you're done, you click on save, and immediately your metaverse creation has been updated. That's how easy it is to create something for the metaverse. No coding, no developers whatsoever. And when you get started, we have a lot of analytics that you can use to see how effective everything is. We also have heat maps that you can use. Once you created something, this is a sample for a store. You can see how people have been walking around in your metaverse creation. You see them walking path, you see the gazing intensity, and you can see the view count. And that gives you a lot of data-driven insights in the real added value of your creations. And the last thing, is metaverse only AR and VR? No, with Fectar, you are able, like I said, it's about desktop, it's about a plugin that you can use on a smartphone, it's the Fectar app, it's the HoloLens, it's the Oculus Quest, and the Pico. So for one single point, Fectar Studio, you can create everything you like. So as a special request, I'm now going to log in to Fectar Studio. And then I have to switch screen 1 second. And then let's get started with Fectar Studio. Here we go. Share screen. Next. Content. Fectar Studio. Here we go. So now I'm about to enter Fectar Studio. I'm using a demo account, so you see some samples. Sign in, you go to the Fectar website, you see the button, login, and that's how you enter Fectar Studio. You can start a free trial there. It's 14 days. You can use everything, and you can get your own experience of how easy it is to create something in AR and VR. So what you see here are spaces. These are spaces created using Fectar Studio. So how does an airplane engine work? All sorts of metaverse spaces that you can look at and create yourself. Well, let's create something ourselves. I click on the button, create new space. And here we go. I can start off with an empty space, or I can, my first space, this is when you start the academy with Fectar. But here are all sorts of samples that you can just take off the shelf and start immediately to create something. But I'm going to create an empty space. It's now creating the space, and here we go. This is the space. And I'll call it Bootcamp. Save. That's how easy. I've just created a space. This space, we have 3 tabs: layout, preview, and share. In the share, we'll do that afterwards, but here is where you can also set the title, subtitle, hello everyone, and a description as well. Save. But let's add content to it. Content in a metaverse space. We go to add a new spot. When I click on new spot, you have the options for basic content, advanced content, 3D models, and interactions. Basic content, any image, any video, or any audio, you can add it to your experience. Really easy. PNGs files, JPG, video, MP4, MP3s, audio, the same. That's all types of content that you can add. Advanced image, if you want to work with 360 images, 360 video, that's also possible. It creates a door, and when you step through a door, you enter a 360 bubble, a 360 sphere. And in this sphere, you can also add all types of buttons and interactions, and create this amazing experience for virtual tours and things like that. The third one is a holo presenter. You can add yourself as a hologram. This is one of our killer. This is our killer content. Every time that we show this to people, they're really amazed. A holo presenter, you film yourself, you use your smartphone, you're going to stand in front of a green screen, you film yourself in front of this green screen. The video including the background. You upload it here with the HoloPresenter, and then you become a hologram in the metaverse. That's how easy that you can add life-size people into a metaverse experience. So if you want to be a teacher, a salesperson, or a tour guide, just really easy, stand in front of a green screen, film yourself with your smartphone, add it here. 3D models. We support GLTF, OBJ, Unity 3D asset bundles, and you can also add 3D text. Interactions, navigation buttons, question buttons with immediate feedback, right, wrong, hyperlinks. You can add a hyperlink, for instance, that you can add email addresses, that you can send out an email immediately from a metaverse experience, or it can be a hyperlink to a remote website or a questionnaire or a learning management system. All these kinds of connections can be created here. Buttons, like you can turn things on and off, like sound, you can turn around objects, all these kind of things. And for the advanced users, we have Fectar blocks, but that's something for the advanced users. I'll show that to you in another presentation if you like, but then you can create entire games in the metaverse using these blocks. These are code snippets. Let's say a 3D model. I click on GLTF. So now I created a space called Bootcamp. I've added a GLTF spot. It's still GLTF. And I'm going to choose a GLTF file to add to the presentation. Here, this is why I click on the file manager. These are the files that I uploaded myself. But when you start with Fectar, you already get a lot of free 3D models to get started, to create something really fast, like an office that you want to add, if you want to booking, showcases, all kinds of stuff. You can even create an entire store with cashiers, baggage, boxes, all these kind of things. But let me switch to the Fectar assets. So let's say I'm going to add an airplane. This is the airplane. I'm going to select it, and here we go. And now I have to see how big am I going to make this 3D model in this metaverse experience. So let's say I'll make this one. This will be like 30 centimeters. Here you go. And I'll do save. Then I'll switch to share. With share, it's still set to private, but I'll switch to unlisted. I'll do save. And if you take out your smartphone, if you have downloaded the Fectar app, or you can also use the camera of your smartphone, but now you are able to scan the QR code and you can see the airplane. That's how fast you create something in the metaverse. Just here I have the Fectar app. I'll click on the search icon at the bottom. Then you'll see scan QR code. I'll tap on QR code. It turns on the camera. I'm now downloading the content using the QR code. So here you see Bootcamp and the description. And I'll say start. Now it's getting the content from the internet. And here we go. Here in my office, I'm looking at a 3D airplane. That's how easy it is to create something using Fectar Studio. In 5 minutes time, I've created my first metaverse experience. And I can add more to it. So now I have a GLTF. I'll call this one airplane. Save. Let's say I want to add this hologram of a teacher. A new spot. I'm going to advanced image and videos. I'm going to select HoloPresenter. Here we go. The new spot has been created called HoloPresenter. Here it says choose your HoloPresenter. And I'm going to click on it. And let me see. Here's a video that I recorded a while back. That's from last year. But let me see if I can find something else. Always have to look somewhere. Let me see. Where is... Oh, this is nice. This is a person from KPN, someone who we recorded. His name is Paul Kobbe. I go to select his video. Here we go. And here you see the video has been added to Fectar Studio. The only things that I have to do now is that this line, set it to the top of his head, the other line to the bottom of his feet. Then here's the color selector. I click on it. I'm going to choose a color somewhere near his head to have a good green color. And then here you see the slider. I can set the strength of how many green color I'm going to remove from this video. And that's how easy it is to create a hologram. I can set the height of this person. I know that Paul is not so big. He's only 1 meter and 68 centimeters. And the last thing I'll do, I'll position him 50 centimeters to the side of the airplane. I click save. The space has been updated. Well, let's have a preview how this looks. He's now downloading the Fectar player in Fectar Studio and the entire scene. Here we have the preview. I click on play. And there he is.
I'm Paul. I work at KPN and I work there as a sector developer for manufacturing. I would like to get in touch with you about your industry 4.0 challenges. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can find all the details below. And I hope to talk to you soon. Bye.
So what I've just shown you in less than 10 minutes time, it's how easy to add a 3D model to a metaverse experience, how easy it is to add yourself as a hologram to a metaverse experience. And then you can add so many other things. Like I said, you can add buttons to it, and always make it interactive. When you create a metaverse experience, like I said in the introduction, it's very important to make it interactive. There are now about, I guess, somewhere around 20,000 augmented reality apps in the world. 20,000, I think, around that area. We're in the top 5, by the way. We're with the numbers of users. But one of the reasons that we are there is because out of these 20,000 apps, about, I think, 96, 97% of these apps are just an object viewer. They are an object viewer. The only thing that you can do with these apps is that you can place something in 3D on the floor, and it's just an object. But showing an object has nothing to do with education, has nothing to do with sales, has nothing to do with creating an experience. It's just an object. It's that material. By adding a hologram, by adding interaction, by adding video, audio, all these sort of things, then you get a truly interactive, immersive experience. Then you're tapping into the real potential of the metaverse. That's what I always encourage everyone. If you start using the platform, take the next step. Not just adding simple content, but take the next step, make it interactive, and make sure that people have an amazing experience. They'll remember you for always. That what you have created. Let me give you an example of something, another space. By the way, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Then I can also address a question. Like I said, I don't have a video back into your your place, so then it's hard to interact at the moment. But if you have any questions, please let me know. What we've done here is a place that we created for real estate. This is a metaverse experience. You can place it in a room and you can walk around and see all different kinds of objects. And it can be moving objects, can be situated.
Find homes in these areas?
Yes, I did. A lot, actually.
What offer would guarantee this house? First, I want to show you some other information.
So this is also, by the way, this was a very private demo, which you're seeing at the moment, because this is very exclusive. The thing that you've just seen.
Find homes in these areas.
Yeah.
What you'll hear in the background are chatbots, but this is top secret. Please don't tell anyone. We are about to add chatbots to the avatars, but something truly exclusive just came your way. Please keep it to yourself. But this is a way of creating something. You see all different kinds of spots with 3D objects, with audio added to it, and all sorts of things. Do you have any questions about the Fectar Studio? Because I'm about to show you our latest feature in Fectar. Then I'm going to switch back to the presentation I've just shown. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to switch back to the presentation, because now I'm going to show you something. We released this a couple of days ago, and we are so extremely proud of this. When we created Fectar 3 years ago, that's when we started. We had a vision, Rens and I, Rens and I, we founded Fectar, and we had a vision about the new world. Our world, that we said, the new 3D world that's coming our way, it has nothing to do about AR or VR, or, this is the new 3D world we're about to enter. So that's how we thought of Fectar Studio. The importance of Fectar Studio with a multi-device approach, with all the devices that you can see there. For us, it's not about AR, it's not about VR, because everything that I just created in Fectar Studio is now available on all these different channels. Not just the Fectar app, not just the HoloLens or the Quest, everything together. But now we have created the next step of our vision. This is the final part of what we have been building now for these last 3 years. And for us, it's so exciting to share this with you guys. So here we go. I hope there's also audio. Here we go.
Help me be the best that I can be. There's nothing more that I would ever need. A light together where the sun meets sea. Where we can be together, where we can be together, where we can be together. Where we can be together, where we can be together, where we can Help me be the best that I can be. There's nothing more that I would ever need. A light together where the sun meets sea.
We are now introducing Fectar MeetUp. So what I've been telling you now for these last 45 minutes or 35 minutes, when we started, we created the Fectar apps. The Fectar apps for the multiple devices that enables you to view content. Then we started continuing developing Fectar Studio. It enables you to create content. We created stories and all other things that you are able to share your content. And now the final step in our vision, what we've been building now for the last 3 years, is Fectar MeetUp. Now, all these devices can work together in augmented reality and virtual reality at the same time. So someone can enter a metaverse experience using a smartphone. The other one can wear the Meta Oculus, the Quest headset. The third one has the HoloLens from Microsoft. And all these devices can work together in the metaverse, anytime, any place, any device. This is for us the metaverse. We started 3 years ago building this. We were so happy with Mark Zuckerberg, October last year, talking about the metaverse, because that's what we have been telling now for all these past years. Listen, people, this is coming. And now he put a name to it and he said, this is the metaverse. And Rens and I, we were like, hey, wait, that's what we've been building now. This is our work. This is what we've been doing. So this with Fectar MeetUp, this is the final part of our vision, how we see that the metaverse has added value for the whole world, for everyone to have access to the metaverse. 2.4 billion people can work together in a new 3D world using a standard smartphone. Again, our reference devices are the Samsung S7 and the iPhone 6s. Yes, these two devices can also enter this Fectar MeetUp feature. And that's what it really makes it unique. It has a real-time connection. It shows the participant as a simple, lightweight avatar. And that's really important because this lightweight avatar, that enables you to enter the metaverse. If you're going to really make it really fancy with a lot of new features, hey, I wear the new sneakers, blah, 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 then you're not able to enter the content. It's about the content. The metaverse is about sharing knowledge. It's about communication. It's not about what t-shirt I'm wearing and what sneakers I'm wearing. I want to share my knowledge with you. And my knowledge is not about the t-shirt that I'm wearing. So lightweight avatars. It works with smartphones, has voice chat, so you can talk two-way, you can talk to each other. There's a pointer, you can point at things. When you start Fectar MeetUp, you see a white dot in the center of your screen, and that's your pointer. And this way you can show everyone where you're looking at. And there's a lot of interactions when you work together in a meetup, in a metaverse space and doing a meetup. Everyone is able to push the buttons and it's all synchronized. So if you have this learning journey together in a metaverse space, you can do it together. Or this can be a teacher telling you about the content. And there's 6 other students also joining in this meetup. And to get started with meetup, it's so easy. The only thing that you have to do is download the Fectar app, open it, find the scene that you want to use for to set up a meetup. At the center of the, once you have placed the content on the floor, there's a meetup button at the bottom. You click on it. You can fill in your name, your gender, and a pointer, and a color that you like. When you want to host the meetup, you click on Create, and then you can invite others by sending them a WhatsApp with a link in it or a QR code by email, whatever you like. It generates a code of 9 characters, the same as you have with Google Meet, for instance. Then you also have those 9 characters on top. Fectar MeetUp works exactly the same. That's how you create something. And if someone wants to join, he just clicks on the join button, and then you can get started and you can work together using a standard smartphone all over the world. And all these devices can come together and access the metaverse. Again, democratizing the metaverse. That's what this is all about. Everyone now has access to high quality content and has an amazing experience depending on what device you want to use at that moment where you're at. But you can work together in the metaverse. And to get started, here are also metaverse QR codes. What you see here, you can do like remote sales from all over the world. So you can start a shop in Nigeria with some exclusive products, and you can demo your products to people all over the world, just using a standard smartphone. This is for remote sales. You show up, you can point out things, you add yourself also as a hologram. It's an amazing experience for everyone. Remote assistance. So if you have something that you want to explain for an engine or other technical things or whatever that you need remote assistance, it also works the same way with Fectar MeetUp. And very importantly, also remote teaching. I always emphasize that there's so many amazing content available in the metaverse, but we need to share it with everyone in the world. That's what it's all about. That's just the new Web3. That's about, you know, decentralization and things like that. It's the core is sharing and communicating with everyone. So that's where we're looking at with Fectar Meetup. So I encourage everyone, use Fectar Meetup with your friends and other students. Try it out. It's our first version that we've launched a couple of days ago. We're working on it. It's work in progress. We're going to add new features to it that you can do entire events and more things like that. But let us know if you have any ideas or thoughts. They're very welcome, and please share them with us. And this is our journey. This is the journey of Fectar. We launched Fectar in 2020. When we launched it, and today we have more than 6 million users worldwide. And this is the final part of our vision. So to make sure that everyone has access to the metaverse, democratizing the metaverse. Thank you very much. Please let me know. Do you have any questions? Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. I really tried my best to stay within the time frame, because once I get started with the metaverse, but Arabe, he was really strict. He said, no, listen, this is what we want to see. Keep to it. So that's what I tried. So, but I really hope you enjoyed my presentation and everything that we are doing with Fectar. I invite everyone to join us in the community. Please have a go. Do the free trial on our website. And yeah, let us know your ideas and thoughts and how you want to use it.
Eugene, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions from the participants here. I'll just pass them the phone and they'll ask their questions, then you can answer. Hope that's
perfect.
fine.
Yes, please.
Okay. Hi, Eugene. My question is, you mentioned you were building sort of like metaverse. So is it a different version or it's the same?
Well, yeah, good question. Good question. Because the metaverse, this definition of the metaverse. So a lot of people think that metaverse is only Facebook. It's only Mark Zuckerberg. But for us, the metaverse is the new 3D world. What we see is that these past decades, children are growing up with games. They know about how to move in a 3D area and things like that. So that's what's coming our way. Yeah. So that is what's coming our way. And so there is no single metaverse. Last week, and we are also joining a group of companies worldwide, 37 other companies worldwide. We're setting the standard of the metaverse for interoperability. So what you'll see in a few years' time is that there are many different metaverse experiences available, and they can merge, and you can swap from one to another. But we are in front of the rest, because what we see with the other metaverse experiences that are being created at the moment, they're all single channel and single device. And by single channel is that, I mean, it's either AR or VR, and it's only a specific SDK that they are using, and it's a single device. It's very often the Meta headset or the Pico headset or the HoloLens. And for us, the metaverse, again, I really emphasize this, it's about working together. And working together, that means also multiple devices, not just a single device, because then you exclude so many other people in the world. There are only 25 million VR headsets in the world. You know, that's way too less to say, well, hey, this is the metaverse, let's connect the whole world. 25 million, come on, that's nothing. So working together in the metaverse, that's how we see it. Yes, please. You have a next question? Or does this answer your question?
Eugene, I'll drop the questions in the chat so you can just take a look at the chat.
Yes, please. Yeah. Then let me know. By the way, we also have, there's so many features. No, I'm going to stop there. Otherwise, there's such an information overload with everything that's possible. Oh, I was looking at the private chat. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, here are the comments. Oh, didn't see that. My apologies. Can we use another smartphone aside iPhone and Samsung on Fectar? Oh, yes, no, yeah. Oh, good question. Any smartphone. You know, that's with 2.4 billion smartphones worldwide are able to use Fectar Studio. But at the low end are the Samsung S7 and the iPhone 6s. So that means, because we develop at the low end of the smartphone requirements, that all the other later and more expensive smartphones are also able to access the metaverse using Fectar. So that's what it's about. That's why I mentioned these two types. But yeah, good question. But if you have another Samsung type or Huawei or another iPhone or you have an iPad, they are all able to access the metaverse. But we use these two to make sure that we use these as reference devices, that all the others are also able to use Fectar. Question, can Fectar work with image tracking? Yes, you can. We also have image tracking in all different ways. What we also have, that's really, I'm not now at your place at the moment, but you here, this is 3D printed box. I can take this apart and I can build a box, for instance, but this can be any box. And with that, at the center of the box, there's an image, the Fectar logo. If you download a space from Fectar, you point your camera to the image and it opens up the box. You can see the inside of a box. That's like virtual unboxing. It's really a good way of using AR for marketing, for instance. So yes, we have image tracking. You can use it for out-of-home billboards that you can track with it. You can use it with what we also have for magazines. We also have different options that you can. Let me get some stuff out. You have flyers like this. You can put them on the table, and then on top of these flyers, you can see a car. You can tap on the hood, it opens up, and all these kind of things. Yes, we have image tracking. It works really well. It's a really fun way also to create things in the AR and VR. Question, can Fectar work with image tracking? Oh, it's twice the same question. So yeah, that's all possible with Fectar. You have another samples. Well, like I said, a lot of information. I'll be sharing this presentation with all of you. I'll send it to you. Everyone is invited to do a free trial at Fectar, but please feel free to contact me, Eugène@fectar.com. If you have any questions, we're always looking for partnerships. We're always looking for teacher communities. We are happy to share all our knowledge and insights with everyone. We are going to start a new series with it's called a streaming video for everyone to join. We also for advanced users, and everyone is invited. So let me know, and let's see how we can democratize the metaverse even further. Everyone is more than welcome. Are there more questions?
That's all for us from here. Thank you so much, Eugène. So we share the video with the participants and some assets that you use so they can build their own experiences in their own spaces. And then we'll get back to you if you have any more questions.
Yes, please. Again, thank you very much for the invitation. I mean, this is what gets me out of bed in the morning, these kind of things, you know, with sharing this with everyone. And well, like you see, I'm very excited. So happy to join you also the next time. Okay.